Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Caturday, happy Caturday. I'm going to play the music, so we have a few minutes to get together, grab a coffee. I think I'm going to make myself a tea, and then we can start. I also have to figure out which cards to grab, so lots of decisions in the next 2 minutes. So let's start with the musica. Where is it? It's Mercury retrograde. Grade. So let's not forget that. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I did everything in time. So let's see, let's go back. Oh my gosh, look at this. Like we have people. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Any else's? Let's see. Which continents do we have? North America, Europe, Australia usually comes here. Sometimes we have subcontinent India. So guys, just check in. And any Canadians, of course. Did you hear, guys? Tiger, yeah, he was kind of continuing with his bark. Alright, Tiger? He doesn't speak like Safi, but kind of like he does things when he wants to say something. So I am contemplating which cards to take over here. Should I just go with Rider White? And maybe I should. I'm kind of like feeling, let's kind of like go with, oh, that's Barbara is from Ontario. Awesome. We have like fellow Ontarians. We guys are in the cold wave over here in Ontario. We had like first snow yesterday. It's pretty cold. Okay, let me get another deck of Rider White over here. What do you say, Tiger? What do you say? So let's grab this deck. Idaho, it's raining. Well, you're a little bit more south, but this is unusual to be this cold. It was like -10 yesterday. It's in Celsius. I don't know what's in this in Fahrenheit. I would assume it's for sure it's under 32. You guys should join the rest of the world with like international system. It will be so much easier, don't you think? Scorpio in Arizona, there you go. We need a little bit of warmth coming from Arizona. Send us over, guys. So guys, did you notice what's happening in the world? If anybody's watching any particular subject that is of interest to you, you can see it was a major locomotion and reversal and stuff happening. Oh, I have to show you this. Where is my phone? Where is my phone? I sent it to myself. Look what I've got this morning. You guys will laugh. I can post a link later if you are interested. Ooh, another thing that I have to show you. Who do you think this is? Yeah, can you see it? Am I showing this to a proper thing? Let's do it this way. Right? There are a few pictures that I have. That actually is Tiger's brother. His name is Charlie. And Charlie is kind of like was in a park where my friends were, and they checked the birthday and everything really, really worked. Imagine that. Imagine how that really, really works. Look at the dude. Like, it's almost identical to Mr. Tiger. Almost identical. That is like so amazing, right? So that was like fun thing. Like, I mean, it's Mercury retrograde brings things from the past. Oh, another thing I wanted to do is what I sent to myself in mail. And this is what I sent to myself. People are getting strange text messages, likely from the past. It is in the news today. It is a Canadian thing, and it says, Happy Valentine's Day wishes among the SMS messages that arrived Thursday. Mercury retrograde. If you woke up Thursday to a weird text that seemed totally out of place, you aren't alone. A mysterious wave of missives swept phones in Canada and the US overnight, delivering largely unintelligible messages from friends, family, and the occasional ex. Guys, I don't know if actually this might be interesting for you, but I really think you might enjoy this article, because you know, people who are not into tarot and astrology, and I'm one of those skeptics. I really have to say, anything that comes into my life, I approach with a great deal of skepticism. Kind of like, It was that medical medium that somebody that I coach introduced me to. Honestly, I had my backs up, and it turns out I was right. But I generally kind of like go through it. I need to get acceptance of it. So the same thing was with tarot, and that's how I actually finally ended up doing it, because I realized this kind of like is really, really working. So okay, just give me a second, guys, to make a tea for myself, because I am having a slight stomach flu. Slight, nothing really concerning. Obviously, you can tell I'm in a good mood, but I think a nice orange pico would really help the situation here. So let's do this. Alrighty. So when this finishes brewing, we are going to start. What's frozen? Who is frozen? Everybody's frozen. This doesn't work. So, hi Barbie. Ooh, Barbie. I don't know where is my notebook for Barbie, because I was cleaning, and you know what this means. You cannot find anything anymore, right? So, here is my notebook, because Barbie wants my notes. Right, Tiger? It's my universal notebook. I actually erase things in it, as maybe you can see what I'm doing from the last time. Even though Steve is doing a great job. So Steve, you do not put the time when you see it. You put the time that you see ticking on the stream, because we all hear log from different time zones, but we are going to coordinate it very, very soon. So guys, I do see green light on live, which means on my end it is really good. So with this connection, there's so many things, because this is going through so many different servers, plus Mercury retrograde. So Barb gave a really good suggestion. You need to refresh the screen, like press F5. That sometimes does it, or just relog back, and sometimes that really remedies the issue. All right. So can I have 1, 2? I'm not so sure what this question is all about. Like you see, I have 265 in Mesa, so that's nice and balmy, I would say. So who else is here? Steve is here, Chris is here, Divine Mystic Goddess. So guys, if you haven't ordered annual horoscopes, please do. This is kind of like a huge, enormous job. So I really would appreciate your help. But plus, it's really, really amazing, which is the most important thing. So, alrighty. So let's do it. So how do we go here? Leo again went through the freaking roof and being first. They are just not allowing anybody to come in the way. But Scorpio has birthday. So happy birthday to Scorpio. So hopefully, guys, you're going to have not only a great day and great week, but just a great and amazing year full of good things. Scorpio is having a good shift. So let's start with you, Scorpio, this time around. So let's see, Scorpio, for the upcoming week. Scorpio for the upcoming week. Okay, let's put a stamp here. 1050. Okay, Scorpio. Scorpio. Alright, Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. And let's do this. I got a new tripod, so I have to figure it out how to connect it. So I'm getting a little bit better with this camera work, but unfortunately I don't have that much time to go into even more kind of like editing that I would want to do. All right, so Scorpio, we are having Rider White and we are having Romantic Tarot on the table. And did I have it reversed? No, it doesn't. So you have Three of Cups reversed, then you have Temperance, Woo, and then you have King of Cups. Scorpio, somebody is in, somebody is out. Or this simply could mean that it may have been a crowd, right? Three of Cups definitely talks about that was never a starter, is like now clear to you that you're not going in this direction. And you are kind of having this coupled with Five of Pentacles. Maybe you have been dealing with somebody who was friend only in good times over here, right? Look at that. Like, I mean, it's almost like debauchery, and she's basically being passed on from one guy to another. Even though that kind of like being a slut, it's not the thing anymore, right? And it could be something from the past. It's something that has been very meaningful, that was supposed to go to the next level. But look at this 9. It's telling me, it's kind of like put a fork in me. It's over, done it, over, blah, 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 blah. So Temperance, unless you guys have, you might have another water sign in your life, and you might also have a fire sign in your life. Or even in particular, even Pisces or Sagittarius over here. It's really telling me that there is like this need for patience. Maybe you're in some kind of like new situation that is just brewing a little bit, but it's not fully, if you wish, baked yet. You're still going to go through challenges, but you're reaching this comfort. You're getting this King of Cups, which basically does talk and does show things that need to be absorbed properly. Ooh, and look at this, is like a coupled with 9 of Cups. Well, 9 of Cups is that card that really talks about satisfaction. Interestingly enough, in this deck, and let me reach something here, my cards. In this deck, it's shown with this masked 2 people. So why are they masked? It almost looks like they're like releasing their inhibition of some kind of like sort. And this also can talk about some kind of like seduction. In any case, I really think you are enjoying it over here. They're like really things that are happening in a really good way. But then why is this 10 of Swords showing up and 1 of Swords? I mean, this is really good because look, he's cutting a blue rose, and almost looks like there is like blood on this sword, even though it's a rose. And I think that blue rose signifies forgiveness of some sort. There is also this marriage card here, the Hierophant over here. So I don't know if guys is they're kind of like dealing with some kind of marriage. Maybe something needs to end. Maybe there are two partners that you're dealing with, or even possibly three. You're really busy, guys. And there is like contemplation on what to do. Maybe somebody's going to hurt you, or you are going to be afraid of hurting someone. But this top row is really telling me that overall you're going to feel kind of like good in your skin, good in your decisions, and even good, if this is a good word to say, about kind of like hurting someone. I don't know like if this is the best way to put it. I mean, interestingly enough, we see this blue rose here as well. And then, as you can you tell this? He's giving to her and she seems to be either dead or devastated. And here is being cut off. Okay, what has been, it has been. And something is brewing, probably not during this week, but it's just about to happen. So I'm gonna get cards to check this out. Ten of Swords. It is kind of like really sticking through. Mind you, this card also can talk about, I don't know, like I am getting also feeling there is a betrayal of a marriage, that those words will be said and uttered, that there is somebody who is very secretive, and we do know, Scorpio, you may be very secretive at times. So maybe somebody is giving you that commentary of a sort, so keep that in mind. That is going to really play a role over here. So well, I don't know guys why stream is getting on your end, because for me so far it's steady green, and I have specifically streaming a camera and talking about that, it just disappeared. So it's Mercury retrograde, guys. That's what it means. During Mercury retrograde, weird things happen. You know, this card I didn't pick up for some reason with the deck, and this is the clarification of this one. Something that may look initially horrifying or even hurtful, it's actually going to be a really good thing, weirdly enough. And look at her, a goddess of fortune. She's coming here with a whole bunch of money. You know, it almost looks like maybe you spread yourself too thin, and certain engagement of certain energy is not allowing you to apply energy where you should. So hence, letting it go, it's almost like pushing into something positive. It could be even positive business transaction. It could be some kind of like serenity. Maybe somebody, I really, because you're Scorpio, usually have weird experiences. Maybe somebody will say, oh, I'm committing suicide if you're not with me, kind of a thing. But I really think this is kind of like going in a really high energy. You will really actually feel good about where you are and how you're dealing with situation over here. So Scorpio, I think you're going to have a really good times ahead. And maybe somebody who kept leaving you out in the cold, proverbial cold, you're going to say, you know what, I had this happen too many times. No more Jose, kind of a thing. So the next one that we are going to go is going to be Leo. Leo, you're next. Leo. Divine Mystic Goddess, if you and your romantic partner keep seeing 10-10 together, oh my gosh, I have to release this newsletter. I had a crazy week because I was not feeling well, and I started writing that like 11-11 is going to be really interesting. It means that you're ready to contemplate more serious life goals together. I don't know. Let's say I don't know if I will agree with this, because one is still not, well, I guess contemplate is the key, meaning not putting it in action. It's just maybe thoughts. I would agree with that one. So I don't know guys, if you are seeing me offline, I'm seeing myself online. That's really weird. So we are going into Leo. Tell me if you are feeling this broken, but just keep refreshing, because on my end everything seems to be okay. Oh my gosh, what's happening? Let me refresh on my end, because I keep seeing green and like I'm so happy with this, and I'm hearing all of you reporting all of these things and saying there's like nobody watching. It's totally freaking bizarre. Okay, so is it better now? I refreshed. Hopefully that's going to, yeah, and you're right, it did turn me off somewhere, even though it's not showing me over here. So all right, Leo, you have 10 of Wands. Woo, you have 3 of Swords, but then you have like 2 of Cups. What is this like with these mixed messages? And like then you have like 10 of Wands again. Look at this, double secrets. There's somebody holding secrets, and somebody want to pull the wool over your eyes. You have a 7 of Cups. And then you have Star, and this is much higher vibration. So it's going to be really a little bit rocky ride, I would say, for you this week. It might start with you trying to decode some kind of puzzle, right? Well, Chris, thank you. I'm not so sure what's going. Okay, now I'm seeing red on my end. So I guess it just didn't give me notification that something is off. Let me see if I'm on the high speed. I am. My streaming is like 20 going up. So it is YouTube, and it is, did you guys know that like YouTube was down, like this week eBay was down. It's kind of like stuff doesn't happen often, and I can see this breaking. So please, let's hope that this is going to continue. On the recorded things, when it kind of like uploads, I guess you're going to get all this detailed information here. So Leo, I really feel, and this is Divine Goddess if she's here, so there is like this 10-10. Maybe there was some kind of planning that took place if we go with this Divine Mystic Goddess, right? You see, if you are here on the chat, and if you see chat, because it disconnects chat if it goes offline, so hence keep refreshing. And I'm sorry this doesn't really work. It's really odd. Okay guys, anybody other than Divine Mystic Goddess that has issues watching this, because I notice lots of people dropped, probably because of bad connection. I don't know why this is happening. So patience, guys. You know, I cannot rule Mercury. Mercury is like so much in charge of me. So guys, they're like somebody who feels there are lots of options, and they're like going to be something that is going to be either a big enormous breakup. This could be connecting guys to Aquarians or to Scorpios. Over here also I see Tauruses and Geminis really strongly going through over here the reading. So that could be those energies or anything that that goes. It's just that we miss you when we cannot see you. Oh, okay, so hopefully it's going to improve. Leos, what's going on? Is somebody a puzzle for you, or you want some communication, you want some information? Look at this, is about secrets, and then we have the guy here in the masquerade over here. So maybe people are putting their best foot forward for some reason, or you are not sure what they're telling you is true for some reason. This can talk about rejection, whether you are rejecting someone or somebody rejecting you, and that's kind of connecting with the scorpionic energy. It's almost like some kind of like regeneration, right? Where at the same time there's like a huge amount of hopefulness. You're going to end this week on a very, very positive note. It's 17 and 2 is 19. This is the sun. You're going to feel strong and powerful. But middle of the week, you will be going through some doubts and questions that you will be asking yourself how to go about it and what to do about that, right? So it's going to be really, really interesting. I want to check this like Three of Swords, because sometimes that talks about a third party. Very often it really talks about wounds that didn't heal, that are now opening. Of course, Mercury retrograde, you can see we in the US and Canada, we're getting texts from our exes from February, and you can just imagine how shocking this really is when something comes without any rhyme or reason that something is happening, right? So keep that in mind. So let's see. Why is that Three of Swords there? And you are getting a room reversed, right? Get a room, well, maybe not. So it is about, that's why the Scorpio is, I guess, is coming through, because it is about some kind of like either sexual engagement of some sort, right? It is about intimacy. We see the place where we basically invite other people, right? But when it's reversed, something is turning upside down over here, which can talk about, as I said, it's going to be confusion, who is who, some kind of like inner turmoil, or maybe just losing perspective of some sort, right? So be careful about being impulsive, or be careful, especially if you're dealing with relationship that is like complicated, that you kind of just don't want it to be complicated, right? It's really interesting because the Two of Cups is right there. So it's almost like it could be that you're closing a chapter of your life with these energies, because we have a 17 here and we have a 17 here, and look at how lovely this is. They are holding their hands, almost like it's indicating that you're moving to that, you know, star direction. You found your true north. And the Leos, you kind of like currently have such strong energy of things projecting toward unions, toward soulmate, toward hopefulness in relationship, which really tells me that maybe for a while you really didn't believe in that, that you felt blocked, just like this dude. Like he's having a whole bunch of stuff in front of his eyes. This is not the best way to carry on in life. You can trip, and we usually do when we have too many things on our plate. It could have been that you have been dealing with heavy family situations. This is a higher vibration of your own card strength, and it's all good. It's all happening. For those of you single and looking, maybe you have been going through a whole bunch of online dates and they've kind of like looked tricky, or you met weirdos, or you met people with maybe with whom things would go somewhere and then they pull the rug under your feet. But then it looks like you're going to meet somebody who finally actually works out. That somebody might be water sign or air sign, or in particularly Aquarius, to be honest with you. So there we go. There we go. So the next one, I'm just going to go randomly here. Oh my gosh, I'm taking my sweet time on this. I have to go faster. So who do I do next? Well, let's go Virgo. Virgo. Just random. Random. Virgo. Virgo, Virgo, and Virgo. Virgo. I'm having red light now, so that might mean that you guys have great ability to see it on your end. Okay, so Virgo, you have 10 of Pentacles reversed, but you have the Empress, Ace of Swords. You have 3 of Swords here, Fool, and 5 of Swords. Swords, 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 and this can have air in it. So it's going to be interesting week, guys, here. It kind of like feels that something has fallen apart in your life. something that indicated to you family, union, growing together, coming together. Again, you guys might be dealing with another earth sign, air sign, and even a Scorpio here, and things could maybe gone kind of like really dark. Maybe certain things took a path which you didn't anticipate, and maybe somebody's even turning your friends and your family against you, right? Because here we can see this quote-unquote winner, if you really wish, and she would want this loser guy. So it almost like could be a lover, and now he's defending, let's say, the honor of his family, but did he really win in the situation? Maybe, you know, it was like a situation of saving face of some sort. But then there's like something happening. Almost looks like this week can be this turnaround point. We have this Mercury retrograde until the 20th, so we are kind of like halfway through it. And look what you have. You have this Empress, which is ruled with Venus, and Venus is going to go to Capricorn end of this month, which also is your sister sign, and the Empress here is covering Libra and Taurus as well. So it talks about the creative flow. Maybe you're going to be a homebody. Maybe you'll want to organize the home. Maybe you're going to say, well, if you don't want me, I don't want to be with you either, and I'm going to create something new. I'm going to start from the scratch. You're going to play upon your own strength. You're taking this leap of faith. Something that maybe was not possible for you, you're not even trying to achieve anymore. It could be that somebody just left you, and you maybe have been devastated for a while, but you're going to start getting a really positive attitude and cutting through it. Ace of Swords is like victory. It's my karma card, cutting through garbage. You had to cut certain things inside of you, but you also had to cut things outside. So let's say if you have tumor in you, you have to cut this tumor inside, but you also have to stop doing certain things that can cause it on the outside. So it's going to be kind of like that clarity and clearing things out. This is something really fast that can happen in a really almost like abrupt way, right? But it's going to end really well, because look at this dude. He is kind of going down the memory lane over here and feeding these geese, but these memories are really, really good, and there's like something that is taking you into new direction. Sometimes this feeling is really needed when let's say we need to open ourselves up to a new relationship where we think, oh, the best is behind us, and that shift in belief and how things go can really go in a positive direction. So keep that in mind over here. I don't know if I have anything to clarify. Well, actually, let's check this duel over here. What's happening here? So let's see. And you have Journey reversed. As I said, something is coming to an end. Journey is like such a positive card, right? When it's kind of like showing up. So it could have been that you have tried and tried and tried, or that something was simply, you know, like a battery keeps on dying, and like there is like nothing you can do anymore to kind of like remedy this, right? So this is really talking about the evolution of situation, but maybe given that is Mercury retrograde, maybe you had to go and see your family and the trip is going to be canceled, for example, or cancel vacation. There's like a warning about something that needs to be avoided. Maybe meeting of some kind of kind to kind of like talk things out is not a good thing. Something is not arriving, or at the very least is going to be really late. This kind of suggests things closing, as I told you, right? So yeah, I really think this kind of like, it tells me it is time for this relationship to move forward, or to finish from what it was, what was on. You need to move forward, kind of a thing. This kind of like to me also connects to people born in April for some reason. So I don't know if some of you are kind of connecting to that energy, and you guys will tell me if this kind of like is what it is. Okay, guys, that was who? Virgo. That was Virgo. And the next one that I'll be dealing with Let's pick the random one. Let's go Taurus. Taurus, and I have to speed it up. Taurus. Any Tauruses here, guys? Guys, you have to say yay. You have to say yay. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Really? And when I had it all green, as I have it now, viewers didn't experience it then. It's weirdos. It's Ace of Cups, Taurus. Empress can represent a mother. Empress can represent a child. Empress can represent creativity. Empress can represent writing. Empress can represent hopefulness. Empress can represent things. So it's a lots of combination. It's way more than winning a lottery when it comes to tarot, guys. So let's see, Taurus. You have Ace of Cups reversed. You have Death. And then you have like 10 of Wands. You have 6 of Wands. And look, you have Ace of Cups turning around here. And then you have 7 of Wands. So Taurus, you might actually experience breakup of a relationship of some sort, and the reason why it's going to happen is over some kind of like stubbornness. Are you too stubborn for your own good, Taurus? Is something happening where you're feeling, hey, you know, it has to be my way, and you're like kind of like really set, or there's like somebody else like it? It feels like its situation is going to be just like that, right? Where it's going to feel like, this cannot work out. I don't want to waste my time. This is just too much. It can kind of like be lots of directions that are really happening in this particular, you know, combination. It almost looks to me that if something is to continue, it has to be significantly transformed. And this transformation can be really one of a kind, what I see over here. Not always this signifies the end of relationship and something being made permanent, you know. Sometimes we realize, I actually miss him, or hey, you know what the hell was I thinking? And you kind of run back and you kind of like realize that you have to apply some remedies for a relationship to kind of like really work and move forward. That talks about transformation. Something cannot continue the way it was continuing. I really feel that some kind of goals were not lining up if you're with someone, or if you're looking for someone and you're single, then you always felt like you're kind of like square peg in the round hole, and the other people, they just didn't, you know, they were not appealing, and there was like something amiss. You also might meet somebody who is a water sign or Scorpio in the upcoming week. And if you meet Scorpio, the Scorpio is going to be very mysterious, right? And be also careful that married mysterious person is maybe mysterious for a reason, especially if male. For what I'm talking about here, this person may be married. So keep that in mind. This person can talk about commitment, and even if you kind of like manage to get through that facade, it's going to be something very appealing about this person. They'll be very sexy. They'll be luring you in. You will feel that maybe they're almost like vulnerable. You want to protect them, but that's a trap. So be careful about that. Be very careful about that, because it's really interesting that you have 6 of Wands here and then you have 7 of Wands here, right? So she has a bird in the cage, which is really awkward way. I'll take my bird in a cage on a boat drive. Like, I mean, okay, I guess this would be akin of Paris Hilton picking up like a little poodle or whatever it is, chihuahua, and put it in a pocket. I absolutely hate that when people do that. But this is really talking about counting your blessings over here, being hopeful. Kind of like it's going to be a new situation, which is going to be very ambiguous. I'm not going to lie to you, but you're going to feel good about that. This also could mean that you're finishing one relationship and starting a new relationship, or that the one that has ended, that maybe you ended or somebody else ended, is just turning around a few days apart and everything is working out, but this time with understanding that things have to be different. But even though it was the understanding, it looks like it's still going to have issues that will need to be resolved over there. So let me see this Ace of Cups here reversed. You see, soldier. Somebody is like really stubborn. Soldiers are usually keeping the secrets, right? And they have to be very defensive. This almost like reminds me of tiger. Tiger has this protective quality, and it's impossible to be with him. Whenever he feels somebody is a threat to me, he will protect me, but he protects me from children and people who he shouldn't protect me, and you cannot make this division. So this simply could mean that maybe you're dealing with a man or a person in a uniform. It could be somebody who is professional, somebody who is working in some kind of hierarchy, somebody who can be or like overly old school kind of a thing, right? So it also tells me that maybe this relationship that you're in has to be defended from the outside influences, right? Or that the person that you are with is like overly serious or maybe overly protective. So keep that in mind, right? So this is going to be a question of some kind of trust that will need to kind of like work for it, or maybe just going to feel that relationship was not flowing on a proper path and you need to have a talk about that, etc., etc. So it's going to be really interesting because this card really wanted to come out on its own, right? So who do I do next? Who do I do next? We did two earth signs. We didn't do any air sign. Let's do Libra. Libra. Oh, Jetta, this is so sweet of you to say. Thank you so much. I'm trying, guys. I have my moments, you know, like I have all days, bad days. I'm just human. What can I say? Okay. Okay, enough. I'm going to pay you later. I promise. I will. So, Barbie, are we doing doors or do we do, let's do doors. I'm pretty sure Barbie is asleep on the switch, but let's do doors. Do you guys know what that is? Let me just go and put the screen up and you will very soon know what this means. And now it's all blurry for some reason, but let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, guys, you need to ask yourself a question. Something that you want to have it answered. Don't have it too complicated, because let's assume that all your spirit guides are here, so somebody is going to decide to talk, right? So the simpler it makes, the more answers can arrive. So I'm going to create 3 bundles, and you will have to decide, is it going to be door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3 that you will want, right? So for those of you, let's see, anybody dares to say who was the door number 1? Is the Chariot reversed. And now everything is blurry. Oh my goodness. I'll stop moving my hands. Maybe it's going to come back. So the Chariot reverse means something is getting derailed at the very least. Maybe it's not complete no, but it's really talking about that something is not gelling. Somebody is not pleasing somebody. Somebody is not satisfying somebody. Something is not well planned. Something is not built on proper foundations. Something needs to be looked upon different kind of like things, right? So this also means, especially if you're dealing with somebody who is, let's say, Cancer, that maybe the Cancer dude or lady is using their charms on you, but they're also using their charms on somebody else. So I would say you need to really buckle up. This is going to be a rocky ride, and I would not say that this is successful. This also is connecting very much to Mercury retrograde. So if your question was regarding travel or meeting with somebody, going to see someone, it can be just canceled or postponed, so hence the answer cannot be given. So okay, so we have Chris. He has number 2. Ooh, look at that, Chris. Was that a love wish? Was there like something working out with your lady? This is resounding. Yes, guys, this is like a soulmate card. This is about contract and partnerships and something, maybe something was difficult to ground. Maybe somebody was not fully committing. Maybe somebody was overcommitting of some sort, and now it's going to feel just right. This is kind of like healing, when the relationship can provide this healing effect, and that's usually when we pop something, a question, and when we kind of like start seeing this person as something special and different in that direction. And door number 3, it's 4 of Swords, guys. This kind of like talks about counting your blessings. If you really asked if you're going to reach peace or if you're going to win in some kind of situation, the answer is yes. However, if you ask about activity of some sort or kind of like coming together, that can be tricky because somebody will need to have their own space. You might need to have your own space, and that's really needed to kind of like pull yourself together, kind of like let me kind of like come to the center, and that is going to be very, very important over here. Okay, guys, so how did that work for your questions? Let's fess up. Want to know. So the next one I'm going to do is going to be Aries. So what we're going to do next time, Barbie will tell one of the moderators, or she can take it herself, which signs they will call. You will call the sign which one is next. So somebody else will be doing that instead of me. So I don't have to think through these decisions, and then I always get people telling me, oh my gosh, you hate this sign. And the best one is like when people tell me, you hate Aquarians. Yeah, I hate Aquarians, that's for sure. Absolutely hate. So let's see. Aries. Now let's see here, your love forecast. Wide awake, Barbie. Oh, my tea. I probably should put some, let's see, when I finish this, I'm going to put my stevia in my tea and some lemon. Yes, that's how I drink my tea. So you have 5 of Cups reversed. You have the Fool. You have 4 of Pentacles. You have 8 of Pentacles. You have Knight of Swords. And then you have 7 of Cups. I don't know, is any Aries here? Are you guys... Oh, did I say Libra? Oh, was I supposed to have Libra? And then I did the doors. Is that what happened? Well, now we are doing Aries, and then I'm going to do Libra. Nice. Look at that. Look at that. I am getting old. I'm getting old. Sorry, guys. But I really focused on Aries. I cannot turn this into the reading for Libra, but I promise I'll do Libra next. Sorry, Barbie. So Aries, you're dealing with some issues. There is like some kind of growth that I see here. There's like something that made you sad, that saddened you, that you felt that you have lost something very meaningful to you, which at this stage I think you're really willing and able to move forward. There is like the switch, and you're going to feel comfortable in your skin. You're going to feel comfortable with your earnings. You're going to feel comfortable with how things are going. But I also see it could be lots of kind of like, let's say, quick dates, to the point that kind of like they result into, okay, I better watch what I'm doing, because maybe something that is happening going forward is going too fast, or I'm not spending enough time to kind of like determine what's going behind the surface, because you have this air in the center over here, which is really telling me you need to look up. You need to look at the bigger picture. But look at this grounding. It's just like, it almost goes like this in terms of energy, like hopping. You're all over the place. I really feel it's going to be lots of debauchery. I really have to tell you, but you're not going to feel bad about that. And almost like that it could be really sharp and piercing energy, that somebody's telling you things that you want to hear, but are they really honest about that? That's going to be a big question over here, because that's maybe why you're ending up here closing yourself. Maybe you're just simply refusing to communicate because it goes from 5 to 4 is some reason, or because there is like this big pentacle covering this basically heart chakra over here. So yeah, Melody, it has been maybe some depression that you're coming through, maybe over somebody that you loved, and that's why you're protective of possibly yourself, of the situation. I mean, she's also holding this in front of her heart chakra over here. Or maybe you are opening yourself to love, but this card also tells me that there's like something amiss, or maybe you're moving into that direction like too fast, and that is a problem over here. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Chris, like, I mean, I'm really starting to feel it lately, or either have too many things on my plate, but I'm kind of like forgetful, and absent-minded professor forgetful. We can call it with nice words, but we don't have to. So Libra, you're next. I am so sorry for just decided not to do you. So let's see. Libra, let's put the timestamp over here. 51:39. Or Steve, I can actually tell the timestamp when I do somebody. You can write this down and send it to Barbie. That can work perfectly well. So Libra, something jumped. 7 of Cups. Do you know what is a really good thing about getting gold? I was like so happy when I realized that yesterday, that you really don't do the mistakes as many or as much, because you have already made them and you already know what they are. And some people kind of like, that's why I feel that older people or grumpier people, no, we just simply don't want to waste our time anymore. I mean, I know for myself that the dude that I was with 7-8 years, and that he would not pass the second date today. It's just kind of like things get faster. You're not wasting time, and it's not. I don't need to be with someone. I want to, but only if somebody's good. Not just because, hey, it would be good to have somebody on the side. Nope, nothing like that. So it's kind of like really, really interesting. Hello, Bill. Nice to see you here. Oh, tea. Thank you, sweetie. That's what I wanted. Yes. You see? You see? Thank you, honey. My tea. As you can tell, my dining room table is actually my studio. That's why you hear all this noise happening. Lemon. And hopefully this is not too hot anymore. I love orange pekoe tea, guys. So, my tea, and hopefully you guys all have a coffee or tea to celebrate Caturday. So let's do it. So you guys have 7 of Cups. You have the Emperor. Huh, that's interesting. This is that Mars. In your chart, you have like 10 of Wands. We have this card coming up a lot, don't we? You are going to have some kind of like sense of accomplishment this particular week. You're going to feel in charge. You're going to feel in control. I think some of you might be cleaning your house and organizing, or maybe setting up Christmas decoration if you haven't already. I guess since my Libra is ascendant, it's weird because as I'm saying this, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I said it to myself 2 weeks ago and I've forgotten about that. So yeah, I think I'm going to get my Pier 1 trees from the basement. Whoa, then you have like this 9 of Pentacles. I love this card. 5 of Swords and oh, 2 of Cups. It's going to be really interesting. You are going to feel completely in control. You are going to be setting some new direction. It could be a little bit kind of a week where you kind of think of something and you attract the person who kind of like says things that you've been thinking about, that almost like you're finding these people who are very productive, who kind of like really help push things forward. Because look at this, 7 and 4 is 11. And here we have 14. So this could be that your energy is maybe mixing with maybe Sagittarian energy, if you have somebody like that. But also everything adds up to 21, which is the World card. And the World card is the ultimate card of accomplishment. Something karmically is getting resolved. Something karmically is being touched, right? It also can refer to the fixed signs, right? To Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus, or those energies. Somebody might be very stubborn around you, or you might be very stubborn of some sort. But what I see over here, and look at this is a spotlight. You are stepping into a spotlight. It is very important for you to wear something green because that's going to get you somewhere very far. No, I'm just kidding. But green is really telling me there's like something about heart. Look at how much green I'm seeing here. And green is your heart chakra is opening, which is being confirmed over here. There is like this 2 of Cups. You do not know this person yet. Even if you are with this person, you do not know this person yet. Because something will be happening. It's going to be a switch. You know how the souls travel and they sometimes enter the person and exit the person the moment when you learn the lesson. And it's going to be something like that. It's going to be some kind of like memories. You're going to go down memory lane and something is going to pop from that memory lane that you will need to resolve, and you will resolve it. It's going to be resolved in a really good way where, you know, it's going to be once and for all, and it's going to make you feel really, really good about it. And how you will resolve this, you're going to resolve this by really listening the other person. Almost like, you know, my mom, a German lady, she always said, there's a reason why you have 2 ears and only 1 mouth. You have to listen twice as much. And I never listened to this advice, and I always fail when I didn't listen. But if you listen to her advice, that's going to be exactly what doctors ordered, that you'll be hearing something coming through here. Very, very important. I don't even know if I need to clarify anything. Okay, let's see, what are these burdens? They're like some kind of burdens that need to be overcome, or some secrets, or somebody needs to talk about something candidly. Maybe somebody is a little bit ashamed of their financial situation, because look at this dude, he's fishing, but he did caught money over here. But then the surprise is reversed. So somebody didn't catch that money after all, right? So it's not really negative card when it's reversed. It's kind of like it's just saying that maybe something that you're hopeful is not fully realized, and hence this is why you kind of like really need to subject yourself to seeing things through somebody else's perspective, kind of like seeing it through their eyes, because it's really hard when you're completely on the opposite sides to kind of like even go in that in that direction. But it's exactly what will be happening, Libra. So this is lovely. You're landing on this new energy with your old partner. It's going to feel like new. It's going to feel refreshed. It's going to feel like coming together. And if you don't have a partner, then somebody new will be coming in your life that will kind of like really, really intrigue you. So anybody wants a little bit of my tea And if I had honey, probably I would put even honey in there. So let me think, who do I want to do next? So I did one air. Let's do Sagittarius next. So Sagittarius, let's do Sagittarians, 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 Sagittarians. Okay, you come here so I can have a sip of a tea. And of course, it's spilled all over the place. I'm not too sure how I spilled it. It's not having a hole in the cup, but it is. Oh, really? Nice to hear, Steve. So look at this. I'm getting 2 cards coming through, and even here. Let's see, Sagittarian. Something about marriage judgment. Something is making you feel bruised. But it could be a release of some kind. Oh my gosh, it might be a release of a marriage, or marriage in peril, or on the other hand, like some discussion needs to take place. There is like a final stage of something, and something really needs to be resolved over here from what I see. Let's put you on the other side. There is a Queen of Swords. Maybe you're perceiving somebody in your life, or this could be you. That there's like somebody who is like no nonsense. You're dealing with a cat who tells you off in a microsecond. You know, you sometimes need to get these reflexes where you really quickly can access, because you even try to mimic certain kind of social skills, and it's kind of like not really working out, and you also quickly angered. But look at this, the 10 of Swords. What the hell is this all about? Look at the Swords and 5 of Swords. Do you guys have somebody in your life, or is it you that you're dealing with possible some kind of addictions or codependency? Because this is a very strong card. It's a karma card, right? And it's really telling me that there is a release, which is going to be very positive for you. But nonetheless, just what karma and gods and universe feel like as positive, we are like, no, I want more of this ice cream. And karma is saying, nope, no more for you, no soup for you, kind of a thing, right? So it's going to be extremely strong week over here, where it's going to feel like a loss, but it's not going to be a loss. It's kind of like something that you want to wrap up, and on the other hand, you're still feeling, maybe I should fight for it. Should I stay or should I go? It could be that one of the situations. Maybe some of you need to make you know, some big decisions. Maybe you're hearing about somebody getting married, and you're basically saying to yourself, well, F off, kind of a thing, right? It can be really weak where you are on the edge. There's like something about marriage, there's something about somebody unity. This is also about some rules that are coming through it. But it's also talking about some kind of like pain that it's maybe reoccurring. There is an issue of something not being workable. And also you guys might be going a little bit down the memory lane, and kind of like thinking about good old times and how things would have worked. I mean, this is you. This is clearly your energy coming through. You do feel a little bit victimized. You do feel wounded. You feel, oh my goodness, like, I mean, you are going to feel good as a person inside. But you're going to also ask yourself, why is there somebody else that is failing to see that? What is it that they're failing to see that? Here, is that kind of like cross. You're almost like crossing in a different timeline, if you wish. And I really think it is you making this conscious choice of moving in a new direction. I also have to say, in the extreme situation, and especially guys, if you are already going through possibly courts, then this marriage or union or living together might just come to an end or dissolve. And karma is saying, universe is saying, you wrote it, that you wanted to do that when you are done with this lesson, and you are done with that lesson, even though there are still some kind of like sweet memories that are connecting over here. So this is not the happiest thing. Maybe I should pull Gypsy card just to see, because this is actually pretty clear. House. Are you cleaning the house, guys, over here? Because clearly it's kind of like really weird. They're calling this card house. Well, I wish my house is like that, right? So it can be anything of some kind of structure that you have built for yourself. This can talk about family, as we can see here, and emotional bonds, right? It can talk about office and security, or some kind of like self-reliance and independence, which we see over here. This is really telling me that you are getting stabilized, and if you need help, that help is really close by. And it's very important, I really think, when I see this, that something is actually going to be very sweet. You're going to feel, oh my gosh, experience the sweetness of a relationship, but not necessarily that you will be in a relationship. I don't know if this makes any sense. Almost like this dude here, he's thinking about, oh, this was all beautiful, even though if you really see that he's throwing flowers in the water. So somebody really didn't show up here. He waited for somebody. They wanted to walk over that bridge together, and she didn't show up for him over here. But you're still saying, well, you know what, I'm giving it another try of some sort over here. So there is like this huge Jupiter and huge optimism that is kind of like being born over here. So it's really interesting to see that. So it's going to feel that you want to ground, or maybe you're just simply dealing with people around you and kind of like trying to position yourself within your own family. It will be very interesting to kind of like here. Okay, there it is. Kylie's comment is coming through. Yep, cleaning house and getting ready to move into a completely new direction. Interesting. Well, I don't know if you guys know, for a while I was planning to do a different channel. I don't know if I can do it now, because I'll be busy with my annuals. But I was thinking maybe releasing just a few videos how to kind of like wrap some gifts and kind of like start it. And I still am not so sure how to name the channel. Kind of like Cat Holland Designs or something else. I don't know. I'll see. Okay, so who do we have here? Let's go Capricorn next. Capricorn. 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 My place is becoming too small for me. I have to get rid of stuff. Really get some garbage bags and get rid of it. Yeah, I can do Aquarius next. So, a sip of a tea first to get a little bit of lemon. Healing energy. So, Capricorn, you have Temperance. You have 5 of Cups. And then you have 6 of Wands. Then we have Knight of Swords, the Fool, and 7 of Cups. Well, this is extremely confusing energy, I really have to tell you. almost like you guys not going to even feel like you're like yourself this week. It's going to be everything. You're going to be euphoric, you're going to be sad, you're going to say to yourself, wait a minute, I have to, like, I mean, remember, patience, like, you know, slow and steady wins the race. Almost like that you are feeling kind of like really disenchanted with somebody, but then that turns around into being like, hey, happy, let's do it all over again, kind of a thing. It could be that you're starting week and maybe even this weekend with some kind of harsh words, or since we are all getting so super sensitive on everything, that you're just going to walk in a situation and then you try to pedal back out of it, and instead you're going to be in a bigger mud. But it looks like you kind of like have handled that kind of situation with this particular person in the past, and you're kind of like saddened when those setbacks happen, but nonetheless you're going to feel, oh my god, yes, I will move this forward, because you're going to 5 to 6, you're moving in this new direction. There's like this victory, especially guys, if you are in a sexual relationship with a person. It almost looks like this big makeup ceremony is where it's going to happen in bed and during this way. But there's going to be still a part of this whole week that is going to leave you a little bit puzzled about, I guess, a lack of transparency, or maybe somebody's wishing more. Maybe you're wishing more. Maybe somebody wants something more from you and you're not able or willing to give, or vice versa. But there is like a layer, as I see, where you kind of get along very well. If you're single, guys, I do feel that you'll be meeting somebody, either air sign or fire sign, might be brought up to the surface. And you'll go, what? This is what I said 2 years ago, kind of a thing. So you might also deal with somebody who has, let's say, mental health issues. We are coming to this time of a year, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, where we all are under the weather. I mean, if you wake up on November 8th and you see snow on the ground, it's like, oh, ouch, ouch. Or it was even 7th, I believe, it was happening. But this is really telling me maybe you're dealing with Aquarius over here, guys. That there is like this friend attitude here, that is kind of like somebody who, after all, is maybe telling you something that is in your best interest. So maybe it's going to be a bitter pill that you need to swallow, or it's going to be some kind of discussion that needs to kind of take place over here. So it's going to be really interesting. So Barbie is saying doors. So okay, so doors number 2 will be 1 hour 14 minutes and 5 seconds. Yes, ma'am. Let's put the little kind of like thing on. So guys, think of a question. So we are going to repeat this, but this time I want you to tell us what you chose. So guys, if you're listening or if you're participating in the chat, this is a really good time for you to concentrate on your questions very much. You need to ask yourself to a spirit guide that might be someone here. Ask for them to come and bring the card out that is going to help you come to some solution. I'm having the cards that are jumping over here. So 2 of them jumped already. Okay, third one, let's leave this one out here. Okay, so let's remove this back and see where we are. So guys, let's see, what did you choose? I didn't make any, I had to focus on absorbing the messages that didn't do anything. So we have 1 and we have 3. Oh, 1. The Chariot. Isn't this like the same card that we got the last time and in the same spot? That's the first one that jumped out. As I said, this one is not doable this week. This one is going to get derailed. Maybe there's like a meeting or the meeting of the minds of some sort not going to happen. If there is sex, that was a question, or getting together with the partner, it might be just sex and not more than that. It will feel like something is amiss, something is missing. Travel delays, that kind of sort, not getting positive answers from employers, but not getting negative. It's almost like you feel that maybe you are like on the wrong goal, wrong path, wrong road, wrong city, it's going to feel a little bit odd. But it's not necessarily going to feel like that you're going to be thinking too much about this question by the end of the week, because it's going to have a different shape. The door number 2 is Page of Pentacles. Nope, this is not going to happen. Not necessarily because it's not going to happen, not in this week, because this moves very slow. Think of a snail in the slow-mo video. So something really needs to kind of like check all the details of the story. And the number 3, Judgment. All of you who thought of door number 3, the question that you have asked, your guides did come through. And they're telling you that this is something that is extremely karmic, that you are right on the right path, you're on the right way of dealing with things. You have written this into your own chart, and this is happening. This is going to be a pat on the shoulder, and it's going to feel like a huge relief and release, and it's going to feel like you can go in a completely new phase, that something has been really accomplished. Maybe it was just simply a testing phase, and something that you thought, well, you know, I had this before, I know how to deal with this, and this is all good. It's all happening. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. Sorry guys, that's the cards, not me. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. So you asked me to do Aquarius next. You see, this is how to get me off the track. So Aquarians. It's 1:18:05. If for Steve. So Aquarians. I'm offline again. What? Let me refresh it. It shows green on my end. Yeah, it's a major Mercury retrograde, so we'll have 2 more times. I think you guys have end of the month, I think, Thanksgiving, right? So I think I'm going to skip the 30th. It's not going to be 30th live, because everybody will be with their turkeys. So Aquarians. But hopefully we are going to get better. Aquarians. Nobody's saying nothing. Are you guys there? Are you seeing this? I'm not so sure what's going on here. So, the world reversed. King of Swords and Ace of Swords. Holy moly, what the heck is going on? This is not a good position to be in, but then it's coupled with Ace of Wands, and then we have 9 of Cups. But then we have 9 of Pentacles. Oh my goodness, I'm going to tell you exactly what I think, as always, what this means. First of all, this is one of my, I call it semi-karma card. It is a karma card, but it's really acting right now where we are, this moment. And this is its fixedness. It's like something that we really want. We want what we really, really want, but karma is saying no. And we are stuck in a cycle. There is like a cycle that we need to break. And it could be that Aquarians, any Aquarian over here, aside from me, Venus in Aquarius, that we are just kind of like spending 2 times dreaming. We are these floating balloons instead of doing it. And like Kylie sends me email and gives me shit. Come on, I mean, do this interior decorating channel and keep up, right? So there are lots of ideas that I put on the plate, and then, oh, what do I do? And Tiger needs to be walked, like time slips through my fingers. So I guess the organization has to be better. This could be one of those things. It's telling us clearly, do not repeat things that you have done in the past. Do not repeat. This is like somebody maybe appearing from the past, and it's telling you really need to be cautious about that. You really, really need to be cautious, because look at how cute this is with a garter on it, right? And almost like when you look through the window, it almost looks like a window, but then you realize they're like paintings, and they're all depicting different seasons over here. You know what they say, there is a season and reason. And I really think if somebody comes back during this Mercury retrograde, it's time to make this executive decision. We are this King of Swords over here. I don't know why they depict us as the Queen of Swords, but I always see Aquarians, even though this can be Libra as well. There is like this fairness that we are saying, okay, it is what it is. This kind of has, this is something that has to happen in the situation. So it is very interesting that we are seeing everything, right? Do we see water? We see water, we see air, we see fire, and we see earth. All of them are here, right? The 4 elements. So there is this fiction, Taurus, Aries, Scorpio, and Leo as well. And those energy kind of like that is telling us we need to come to the center, which means we may have not been in the center. And we need to kind of realize where we were off from the center, that we did not stand up to be counted, and where we allowed somebody to kind of like walk over us. There is like a little gentle energy that is starting to grow. We are almost like going through a review. Look at this, the Ace of Swords is also peeking over here. It's like freaking interesting. I have to tell you this, that there are lots of right people looking at us. We are not even aware. We are kind of like into some walled-in process. We're dealing with some kind of karmic debris over here, and this is asking us to step up our game. This is asking us to move forward. This is asking us to, almost like asking us to couple with someone. It can also mean that we are kind of like getting this completely fresh outlook. Look at these swords. This is a victory. This is a karma card here, and a good one and a fast one. We are cutting through that maybe delusion, maybe illusion. Maybe we are even giving a chance to people who otherwise we will cut out of our lives. Otherwise we will not allow to come close. Because all of these elements showing up in such configuration, it's really telling me that something is really new and fresh. But it's also telling me there's like something from the past that needs to be revisited. Whether or not somebody is going to knock on our door, send us this stupid text, or we will do something stupid like that, or it means that we just need to sort it out in our head, close the book, and donate the book to freaking Goodwill or whatever it needs to go. So let me see this. Look at this. This is this malady card, this depression card. And to me, sometimes can even signify anger as well. But it's kind of like anger that is self-directed, I would say, right? We're seeing this dude, he kind of like is described in a book, he's like drinking tea and syrup, just like me right now. It can be kind of like weakened state or some kind of like illness. Well, I guess looks like I did come through, kind of like get off and try to do that. I would say when it's reversed, this actually means the opposite. There's like some kind of healing. Maybe they're like final touches. We are like kind of like putting the ball on something that has been dealt with for quite a while. Maybe there have been a period of suffering over an ex, over a process of something that has worked and it stopped working, and we have been ignoring things and just going through it. It's possible. But when this reverses, it's just the end of a period of this confusion, end of sickness, end of any kind of hindrance, right? So if we are talking relationship, that you really want somebody, it almost like looks like the two people are coming to their senses, and that's why there is like this fairness that is coming through, and it kind of like is going to almost like feel like fresh. If you are meeting somebody new or want to meet somebody new, then like, you know, things are going to be really easier resolved. Because I really feel, I mean, with all these swords kind of coming in the world card, maybe we got a little bit prickly, or somebody's getting prickly, and then, as I said, sword, Ace of Swords means cutting something in and out. So we can feel sorry as long as we want about being sick or lonely or anything, but then there's like this realization, wait a minute, what am I doing? What am I doing to remedy this? I need to kind of like do something myself, right? And takes two to tango over here, which kind of like this really means you need to step out. This is like 9 and 1 is 10. You're pushing it, you're moving it forward. So this is finally revolving. This is finally moving on, and the world turns around. And so what is this new cycle you want to go? Do you want to keep repeating the same song? Are you not tired of it? It doesn't look like that's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be something new, something refreshing. So it's pretty good for Aquarians, I really have to say. So I'm left with Gemini, Cancer, and Pisces over here. So who do I do here? Let's do Cancers. It's 126.47. Okay. Cancer. Because Cancer is seeing lots of your energy in the other signs. So it's going to be very interesting how this moves forward. Okay, so Cancer, 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 Cancer. Come on, Spirit guys, help Cancers get their answers. Hoo-hoo-hoo. The Tower, that's the higher energy. This is 7 energy. You're going to be dealing with too much stress this week, guys. You have 2 of Wands, you have the Lovers, and then will be Lovers. 7 of Wands. Are you guys dealing with a fire sign or with the air sign? You have 10 of Swords, and then you have 2 of Cups. Oh my freaking God. Like, I mean, what is going on here, Cancer? Do you want to stay? You want to go? You want to stay? You want to go? You remember, like, I mean, if you're following me on Facebook, I posted this joke about the guy, like, I mean, the cat coming to heaven, and the dude is asking, okay, what do you want? You want to stay or want to go? What do you want to do? Right? Because that's how it looks to me. Like, there is like this, you are card number 7, and 7 is the spiritual energies. 7 is about goals. Most people don't know that Cancers are one of the hardest, the biggest, and the fastest energy in this entire deck. And same thing happens when the tarot card shows up. Oh look, you have another 7 and you have a 7 here. You are being taken by something that happens to you. Something is not sustainable. Maybe you feel gossip, that somebody kind of like said something. Maybe you feel, oh my goodness, I'm just seeing even the clock is at 7 positioned over here. You guys might be dealing with Libra as well, or with Gemini over here, Scorpio or Aries. Those energies are coming through very kind of like strongly. This is also talking to me about marriage, or about some situation that involves relationship or marriage. Something needs to be redefined over here in a completely different direction. This can also literally talk about cancellation of some kind of like plans. Maybe you wanted to go in a real estate deal. Maybe you wanted to go on some kind of trip, or maybe you're waiting for somebody to arrive, and when they arrive, you realize they made so many plans that kind of like it's taking a little bit of joy from what you really wanted to do with this person, of that kind of like sort of things. In any case, things will really need to, this is actually a great card, because this card prevents you of creating problems in the long term, right? Just imagine you're investing money and somebody tells you, oh, this is crazy, this is going to go downhill. Then you're grateful. And emotionally, we are not that grateful when somebody tells us stop, and universe usually tells us. But look at this. These 2 cards, I'm going to finish this last. They're like 2 soulmate cards. And they rarely come together, or even rare they come upright. So this ultimately can talk about some kind of commitment, about feeling comfortable in your own skin. it almost looks like something has to end, very similar to this death feeling that sometimes I see in the cards. Something needs to end in order to move forward. I really also feel it could be lots of jealousy in some kind of situation you're going through. You are a little bit nervous that somebody is going to make a wrong decision, or maybe you are nervous that you are going to be the one making a wrong decision. You're very hesitant in moving it forward. It's kind of like you're really thinking pros and cons, pros and cons, pros and cons. What if? And then you finally decide to go, and this is kind of like really stunning the Chariot energy, but that's kind of normal during Mercury retrograde. It's very normal. This is happening, so don't obsess. You see, Ten of Swords, it's ultimately the card that feels like that somebody pulled a rug under your feet, somebody gossiped about you, somebody betrayed you, somebody's with another person, somebody is like saying sweet nothings to somebody else, and you had such big hopes and wishes. But Ten of Swords is saying, well, at least you freaking know. And you could have spent another 50 years not knowing, right? So there is like that silver lining in this card, and also it means it's a new cycle, you're moving it forward. These two cards are telling me that you need to understand the situation a little bit differently. Instead of taking it like an emotional impact, like, oh my gosh, it happened to me, which I really think is going to be quite a bit of this, rather take it on a chin and say, what have I done to deserve this? And say, if I were this person, what would I see through their eyes? That's going to give you some clues, and those clues are going to push you into actually this repair of this relationship. You're going to take a step back, and that step back is going to push you 3 steps forward, clearly. But it's going to really come to that point, well, you know, are we even getting married of some kind of like sort over here, right? Look, yeah, there is a scholar over here. There's like something, and it's his reversed. I mean, this is my ultimate man in tights. I'm surprised that he is not called Robin Hood right here. So scholar with all these books generally really talks about educated opinion if you really wish, right? But it's reversed. So that's kind of like a lack of understanding of the situation. Just as I said, just take a pause and just try to understand this, because that's really the key. But you might be dealing also with somebody who you considered uncivilized or rude or air sign, right? Or somebody who just maybe doesn't have social skills. We have lots of people like that these days, right? Like they say goddamn darn things to a complete stranger in a park, and I'm experiencing a lot of that since I got a dog. I'm becoming so rude myself. I used to be so sweet, and I would always stand by these old people and talk to them about their life, because you can learn so much. But I'm meeting so many weirdos who are now not getting along with Tiger and vice versa, that I really have to keep moving quickly, and people are not getting those little signs. So something like that here is going to be subtle. It's going to be first shocking, then it's going to kind of like get subtle, and then it's going to go into freaking amazing. You guys will have this November 12th, the full moon, loving. You might be in bed with somebody, you might be enjoying something, you might get proposed to, you might propose yourself, you will just feel good. And my YouTube just keep breaking down, so hopefully this comes back. This is like so annoying that YouTube, like you would not believe what they do to us creators and what kind of hoops we have to go through. Freaking tired, and I'm starting to think about even going on a different platform, because this is really getting to me, but we will see. So that was Cancer, and now let's do Geminis. 134.59 Geminis, and then we have Pisces after that. Zero filter. Well, you know what, if I get really ticked off, I have zero filter. I mean, and what I really need to learn is really not to engage. Like yesterday, I walked Tiger, and this school teacher, she's a high school teacher, so this is like important. So she's telling me, because it was very cold outside, so she was telling me that she enjoys the day. Well, day was lovely in the sun, but the moment when you will go in the shade was not that lovely with frost and everything. So anyhow, I don't know, my dog was playing with her dog for a few minutes, And then she started telling me her theory why climate change is a hoax. And I said, no, 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 no. This has been known for 80 years. I'm not even going down this lane. So I'm thinking, like, freaking teachers? What happened to our education? You guys need to read scientific documents and not listen to, I don't know, Trump, I guess, and his vision of how this is not happening. This is going to be horrible. And this is really interesting. Gemini, you want something. Look at this, 0, 10, 9. You have some really huge plans over here. Oh my gosh, this is such a messy kind of like live stream. My apologies for that, but as you know, I'm not doing anything on my end. What I can do in the future, I don't know if it would make any sense. I can connect 2 cameras and have 2 split screens, but I don't think this has to do anything with my cameras. And it will really, really bother you quite a bit. It keeps doing this cyclical motion all the time. So, you also have King of Swords, which is you guys, I think in this case. I really like this card, I'll tell you what. You have the Star. Look at this, you have King of Pentacles. Okay, let's check this dude out. He has his sword, and he got in some kind of like argument with somebody, and the tip of the sword has been cut off over here. So there is like really interesting rendition of King of Swords, and we also have the Sun over here, so 0 going to 1. I really think it reminds me of some kind of hissy fit, that you're going to put your foot down big times, not in a small way, in a big way. You're saying something I want, and I want to get there. I'm going to take a chance, and something might not really work out this way. Sometimes might feel that you missed your hit, that you missed your goal, or that somebody disarmed you, or somebody else won. Maybe that now you're dealt with dealing with whatever is a fallout of some sort, right? There are like some kind of secrets in the situation over here. There are also some kind of burdens, but there's lots of hopefulness. So it's going from, oh, I don't know where I'm going, to, oh my gosh, I'm so upset, I cannot sleep, I have anxiety, somebody's nervous, right? To, oh, I'll have strong people, I have powerful people, or I have a boyfriend, girlfriend, father, mother to protect me, to help me. So it's going to be extremely frantic week. I'm almost like feeling that energy of a kid. You give kids sugar and they are bouncing off the walls. And that's kind of like how it looks to me. Why I didn't get what they want, and then get all upset. And then you fall into this some kind of like rabbit hole and going in downward spiral. Then you get yourself up going, and then you go down again. So it's going to be a roller coaster ride. What can I tell you? It's going to be really totally weirdo energy over here that's happening. So let me check this 9 of Swords, because this is really telling me you are going to feel uncomfortable of not knowing what's happening next. Somebody has some kind of power over you, especially if you're dealing with earth sign. And it could be that you're looking for a bank loan, you may be looking for a real estate deal, or you're dealing with a person who kind of like is maybe more pulled together in a traditional sense, but you want things maybe done differently, and you're not able to convey or display how to transition these kind of like 2 things. So it's going to be really, really interesting over here. So let me see, why is this 9 of Swords? Messages. You'll be getting some information that is not going to make you very happy. You might actually get rejection for a loan of some kind of like sort, right? Messenger really means you get it. Well, in this particular case, somebody had to kind of like ring on a door, but it can be anything. It's some kind of like announcement of a sort that is going to happening, right? So this can also talk about arrival of, I guess, a guest of some sort. So be very careful over here, because even though this is a neutral card, it's combined with this anxiety, or maybe you're anticipating to hear something. If that's the case, if you're going to feel, oh, I need something, oh, I wish, then actually the message will be positive. And it's going to be some kind of like good action. So be very careful not to over do and kind of like overreact when you get this response, because the message is positive of some sort, even if it's rejection. Remember this message is positive. So you probably will need to go back and track back your steps and see what hasn't been done properly that is making you giving you some kind of anxiety, and ask people what you can do to remedy that. If you don't do that, it might explode in your face. So be my guest. You know, like you have two inside, so you have two people who can work on your behalf versus the rest of us. And maybe this is what is confusing to the rest of us, our crowd over here. So 140, 141 will be Pisces. And Pisces, you are the next, but the sweetest. So another sip of my lemon tea. Okay, let's see these Pisces. And I woke up at 7, so I'm wide awake at 12:31. Pisces, and Pisces. And Pisces. So you have 4 of Wands, you have the Hierophant, you have 9 of Cups, you have Queen of Wands, you have the Star, and you have Temperance. These are all fantastic cards, guys. This really talks about firming things up, feeling really comfortable about that, negotiating, winning negotiations, setting rules, feeling really powerful. Some of you will start business this week, and this business has to be something that you have been already planning for a while, because it's going to start moving forward, right? Maybe there's like somebody that you kind of like kept on a distance, and or somebody eyed you for a while, or you kind of like felt, hey, you know, let's not kind of like come close to this person. Maybe you're not ready. It looks like you're getting ready. For those of you who have been in a relationship, there is like a lots of daydreaming. You might meet somebody who is going to sweep you off your feet. They're going to woo you, and it's going to feel amazing. And for those of you who had a relationship for a while, that's going to be a week when somebody is proposing. That's somebody saying, you know, let's do it. Let's kind of like move this forward. It's going to be unbelievably important over here. There is like a sense of, by the end of the week, you're going to be in a completely new direction. You're going to be completely, you just need to be patient. Like some end result, it will still take time to happen, but it's going to feel like, you know, the shadow self that we have inside of us. When we meet a new person, it's just the surface self, so you like what you see, a visage or behavior, but you have no freaking clue who they are until, at the very least, at 6 months, you're starting to feel some, you know, true person coming through. But when this full shadow self, and you really know who this person is, even their darkest things which they maybe hate about themselves, or, you know, they are not even aware of it, and you're still understanding, yeah, that's doable, yeah, you know, I'm not easy to live with either, and I think actually I'll be the shining star for you, and you'll be the shining star for me, where this really starts to happen. The only thing that I regret in this card that they didn't make a water fountain over here of some sort. But the sex, guys, it's going to be celebration. You guys need to book November 11th and 12th and 13th off. You might be also working on a child around, like, I mean, these days. It's going to feel very comfortable. maybe even too comfortable. But it's going to, like, I love when Nine of Cups shows up. People say, oh, you want to be single. No, it tells me that you are fully aware how happy you are and you're not willing to negotiate on it. It has to be better. So you're not going in the next stage without that understanding. So which means this, what's happening is really, really good. It just tells me you need to kind of exercise patience, because something will make you understand that stars are lining up, things are working out, and everything will get better. So your Scorpio birthday, your Scorpio's fellow birthday is going to be really sensual. It's going to be lots of things happening. So, oh my God, guys, this was like really interesting. I guess it sounds like that this week we'll be dealing with lots of retrograde and retrograding motions and retrograding crapola kind of a thing, right? So it's going to be really interesting what we really go through this week. I wanted to do Lenormand, kind of like really quick Lenormands, not too much. I want to kind of like make these quicker videos, especially during this 2 months. So I hope I'm going to do that, because I have quite a few of readings I need to catch up. But guys, this full moon upcoming is full moon in Taurus. For all of us, this is a time for pampering. And we really need to give ourselves a little feeling of luxury. So we are finishing this cycle from that started in April, end of April, early May, and it's kind of like coming to this culmination. So whatever we did, we did. If we have been successful financially, great. If we haven't been, then you know what? Find a little bit of luxury, because it's going to be sending this message to the universe. You know what? I'm still enjoying what I have. And it's going to kind of like say, okay, I got it. For the next time, I'm going to have a different attitude. So, message for the room. Okay, let me grab something over here. What do I do? Which deck do I get? Huh. Let's get my earth cards. I didn't have these earth cards in a while out, so maybe we can deal with this for the room. Who are the strong ones and people who stayed here until the end? Guys, don't forget to get your annual Taroscopes. They're going to be fun. Actually, there are 2 messages for the room. Oh, look at that. Shaman ceremony. Shaman ceremony. Ancient healing, wisdom, and invocation. Whew. I'm just like feeling the waves coming through me. This is clearly, we are having higher spirits over here showing up, and this shaman card is like so important for me, because whenever I get a deck, I pull a card, and this card tells me if I should continue forward with this deck at the time, and what do I need to understand about myself. And this is the card that came through, and that's when I knew I have to learn shamanism. It's kind of very important to go, right? So this is somebody who is able to integrate with the spirit world, and also somebody who is integrate and willing to expose themselves to suffering, because you cannot be on the surface all the time, right? And interestingly enough, the second card came as ceremony, and to me just enough to see shaman, and I'm already thinking about ceremony, because they live their lives in ceremony, and they treat basically everything with reverence, including the death. So that kind of like really talks, when in shamanism you can go in the upper world, you can go in the underworld, you can meet with a teacher, you can retrieve the soul parts. Sometimes we lose it. I mean, there are different tools that we can use that. So I think the message is here to tend to some kind of like spiritual wound, and that's kind of like a source of everything that's maybe going wrong in our life, and dealing with that quote-unquote illness, whatever this is, physical or emotional or psychological, right? This is a very strong message. It can talk about soul loss or psychic intrusions. It can talk about our ancestral karma and people in our lives, or some kind of like just weird occurrences that make you kind of puzzled. You cannot really interpret that like easily, right? So this really tells me that it's really need for all of you listening, for everybody who is here, to understand that this is calling you to have invocation. It is asking you to connect with your spirit guides. So you are here, guys, asking me to connect you with spirit guides, and spirit guide is telling you, I'm here. You can talk to me directly as well about your private things, right? And that's what ceremony card is really showing up. Ceremony is also talking about very similar with all these elements. We see the spirit over here, we see fire, we see the snake, right? Everything is really showing up over here. It's almost like that there are crystals over here under her hands, right? So it's kind of like putting the prayer in action. So it's almost like re-energizing yourself, right? Maybe, you know, some of you had blockages that now need to be healed and resolved. You need to open yourself up to that healing, guys. Healing is arriving. Do you know when healing is arriving? When you sleep. So the longer you sleep, the more you're going to receive this. Sleeping is going to be important. You can make a little prayer, you can make a little invocation before you do that, and kind of like have some few objects, one that creates your connection with earth, one with fire. So it can be incense for fire, it could be crystal for earth, right? It could be the burning incense is like showing the air as well, right? In a glass of water or something. So that way you're connecting with all these elements, and that's going to be the message to your spirit guide. I'm doing this. I did get it, right? So, you know, create your little altar, do this invocation, and call upon your spirit guides. And then when you start feeling really, you kind of can sometimes feel tingling, and sometimes you will feel comfort. So then you will know they are with you. So then breathe their presence and then ask them, hey, guide me through the process. And then trust what comes to your mind. Trust. Don't question it, because if you question it, they'll say, what the hell am I doing? I'm making all this trip. I'm trying to kind of connect to this freaking 3D world. And what are you doing? What are you doing? So you need to kind of like keep focusing on your heartbeat, and you need to keep breathing, because breathing is the key to that actual connection with spirit. And it's usually when you're not focused on what you need to hear is that the messages start to come to you. So making a ceremony, and that can also be around the 12, guys, because that's going to be the full moon. It's the easiest to come during that time. It's going to be a good time to do that. So guys, this is extremely powerful shaman ceremony. You are going to get healing. So ask and you're going to get it. You know, Matthew 5 kind of a thing. Very, very important. So there you go. We spent, you know, Caturday, a Saturday together. And I hope that everybody here is going to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. So I'm going to play the music. And I'm going to put this proverbial share, like, and everything, even though this is like just a few of us who already are subscribers here until the end. You know, guys, that I love you. It's going to be a difficult week because of Mercury retrograde, so be careful. Double check your texts, and even if you get texts from the ex, be careful. I'm going to post the link that I told you was published today for everybody to see how Mercury retrograde affects technology. Nobody knows what's happening. So there you go. If you are a doubter, that's going to be something for me to ask you, why is this then happening? Love you guys. Hopefully everything was good. If you have any messages you want to talk to me directly, you know, my email is in the description. Just connect with me. And Barbie, I'm sending this to you and Steve so you can sort it out, and hopefully we'll get it right. Thanks, Barbie, for your help. Thanks all the moderators. You guys are so awesome and amazing, and I'm so happy to have you and spend this Saturday with you. Alrighty, so where is our music? Where is the music? Let's do it. Love you, love you, love you guys. You have an amazing time, and until the next time, bye. have a wonderful